The Anglo-Saxon society.
Anglo-Saxon society was hierarchical. It means that it was arranged in a clear order of rank or status. They were differentiated primarily by the value of their wergild or man price. At the top of Anglo-Saxon society were the king and the elite aristocracy, and at the very bottom were the slaves. The Anglo-Saxon community was basically a rural one. The king. The king was the most powerful person in Anglo-Saxon England. His job was to protect his people from attack and make laws and to make sure the laws were obeyed. He also had power over the church. Earls. Earls were the most important men after the king. The area of the country controlled by an earl was called an earldom. The earls were the most powerful lords and owned huge areas of land. There were usually no more than 6 earls. They were the king's advisors, ensured the king's laws were enforced in their regions, and raised men for the king's army. They were expected to protect people on their lands from attack. Thanes. Thanes were local lords who lived in a manor house and held more than 5 heights of land. They represented less than 1% of the population. Thanes were nobles, but less powerful than earls. They carried out local duties such as guarding tax collectors from attack and organizing the repair of fortifications, roads, and bridges. Cols. Cols, who represented roughly 10% of the population, sometimes called freemen, owned their own small area of farmland. Being free meant they did not have to work for their lord every week, unlike the peasants and slaves. All male corps had to serve in an army if needed. Peasants, who represented over 70% of the population, had to work on the lands of their lord for up to 3 days a week and do any job he requested, such as taking animals to market. On other days, they farmed their own rented land to grow enough food to survive and pay the rent, which could be paid in money or goods like pigs, eggs, or milk. Every male peasant could be asked by their lord to fight in wartime. Slaves. Slaves made up about 10% of the population and were viewed more as property than people. Owning slaves was a normal part of life for the Anglo-Saxons, but the Normans thought it was cruel. They were not free and had no land. They worked on their lord's land or in his house as servants.